Functions and relations. So functions are one of the things that we use habitually almost every single place in the entire world. Okay? You may not think of it. Some examples of functions. So there's water machines downstairs. Isaiah, you want me to take your phone? No, put it up. Okay? There's water machines downstairs, or a pop machine, right? So when we put quarters in the pop machine, whether it be $1.25 or $1.50, okay, you put enough change in there and then out pops your drink, right? That's a function. I have to put so many quarters in there in order for me to get a drink. Gas prices are functions. For X amount of things of gas, okay, I have to pay a certain amount. So if we go to Popeyes, right? If we go to Popeyes, I've never been to Popeyes, by the way. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Popeyes is so bomb, man.
But I was over by the mall this weekend, and my husband was like, let's go to Popeyes. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to Popeyes.
Chick-fil-A is way better.
But that's why I want Chick-fil-A.
Burritos is the best place.
Okay, so if we go to Chick-fil-A or Popeyes, okay, there is a price per sandwich, right? So if the sandwich is $2.50 and you buy 10 sandwiches, you're going to owe a bill, okay? The sandwich price is the function. If you have a job, right, and you make $10 an hour, that's a function. Based on how many hours you work, you're going to get a certain amount of money. Every single thing, whether it's at the grocery store, in here, everywhere, your phone, your amount of text messages, on Snapchat, every single thing is a function. Okay, they figured that out from a function. Okay, so there's a difference between a relation and a function. So a relation is a set of inputs and outputs. Okay, it's written sometimes as an ordered pair, and you can graph it to a diagram. So if I have the coordinates 0, -2, okay, that is a relation. These two are related to each other, okay? There's an X and a Y. We are related somewhat, okay? So we're related by the basic fact that you take my math class, okay? Does that mean we go everywhere in this building together? No. Okay, that would be a function. A function would be, well, every time Brooke goes out in the hallway, Henning goes out in the hallway. I almost said actually, I don't even know why, but. Okay, so, but we do have this class in common. So a relation is different than a function. So if we go from 0 to -2, we could plot this. That's a relation, okay? So not all relations are functions. That is important. So today and tomorrow when I'm asking you, is this a relation or is this a function means that they're related, connected for every single time. If they are not, then it's not a function.
Hey man, I have a question.
What?
I know this is super random, but like if we're out of school and we see you somewhere, are we able to call you Ashley?
I don't really care what you call me. Honestly, you probably shouldn't, but I don't. I'm not really a fan of being called Miss
Did you
Henning
punch me in my
anyways.
face?
Huh?
Did you punch me in my face?
I don't know.
Ashley?
I don't
Have you
know.
actually fought someone before?
Huh?
Have you gotten into a fight before?
Yeah, let's focus on what we're doing. Okay, a function is a relation in which each input has only one output. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So for every X, there is a Y. That's a function. Okay, so for every class that Brooke goes to, I also go to. Okay, but me and Isaiah and me only come here. So we are a relation. We are a function. If we go everywhere together, so y'all two, BFFs, okay, y'all are a function dang near. Okay? If you see Will, you see Isaiah, and vice versa. Okay? But we are not. We are a relation. We only go to this place and this place only. Okay, the other important thing is to say that for every X only has one Y. That makes it a function. And that kind of sounds a little bit more confusing. Once you start getting practice, it will make sense. Okay, but I cannot have multiple Y's for the same X. Okay? So mapping, we see this a lot, and we're going to see it today. What this means is we can write these as coordinates. So we can say that -2 in the domain are going to be X's and your range is Y's. Okay, so for -2 goes to 4. We could write another one. -1 goes to 4. 0 goes to 6. 1 goes to 8. And we could say 2 goes to 8. Okay, all they did is they took all of their coordinates and they shoved it on a graph. That's it. Okay? It can be written out or whatever. The domain and range is what we're going to focus on today. Okay, so the domain is the x's, the range is the y's. Okay, if you're looking at a graph, okay, is left to right going to be x's or y's? Okay, this line, is it going to be x's or y's?
Oh, X and Y's.
It's going to be the x's and these are going to be the y's. Okay, left to right is always going to be the x's, the up and down is always going to be the y's. Okay, so make sure that you know how to graph today. Okay?
I learned that in like preschool.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised how many of you guys forget.
That's stupid. I'm joking. I'll probably forget it by now.
Okay, so if you're an online student, okay, the very first one that we're going to do, because I put them as multiple sheets on there, is going to be the tables, okay? It's easier to start off with the tables.
Dude, you guys have to run this like 4 sheets in there. Where's your? I don't know. I want like a 120.
No.
Bro, I'm thinking about playing basketball.
Isaiah
this year.
Crowe needs a pencil.
Man, do you think I should play basketball this year for the school?
What?
I'm pretty good.
You can dunk.
No, I can dunk at a 9.
So you can
I
grab.
barely get it. I can't dunk on it all the time. It has to be a good day to dunk at a 9.
Okay, so the very first one that we're going to do today is tables, okay? So today there's 3 different sheets on here. It's going to be super easy. You're guys going to be like, oh my gosh. Okay, so is domain the x's or the y's? See if we remember.
Exits.
Is the x's. Okay, so somewhere on here you better write yourself a note so you remember, okay? The domain is the x's, the range is the y's.
Oh, hold on. I gotta get a pencil, man. Slow down. I forgot my pencil. My pencil in my locker.
Okay, so it wants you to find the domain. It's really simple in order for us to find the domain on a table.
I'm fighting.
Yeah, you're about to fight up here.
Hey.
Okay, so the domain for this table is just going to be -7, -4, -2, 8, 10, and 19. It's simple as that. If they're labeled twice, okay, if it's like -7, -7, -7, you only need to write it once. Okay, we do not repeat numbers on the domain and range. Okay, so for every number that's different, it should be on your list. So our range is going to be 12, 9, -11, 17, 6, and -5.
This seems way too easy.
It is.
Oh my gosh, really? Man,
I told you.
I'll be honest with you.
How about
I forget what it is.
Hey.
Okay, so let's look at, we can go ahead and do number 2, but, okay, so my domain, what's my very first thing on the list? Huh?
17.
-7.
No, on number 2.
-19.
-19, -6, 1, 2, 15, and 18. Okay, it's all these x's. That's where I'm getting this one from. Okay, we don't need to write them down if they're repeat though, so make sure that you don't do that. Okay, for the y's, okay, that's my range. So I got 16, 4, -3, 8, 9, and -20. Theirs is gonna be, some of these have a bunch. Does that make sense?
There you go.
Yes? No?
Yes. You can just keep doing that. We just list all of them. That's all we're doing.
On this sheet, but yeah.
Imagine how.
Okay, let's look at 4.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so